Welcome to part 5 of the course. In this one, we'll be focusing on landing page design and how to create stunning landing page designs, even if you don't think of yourself as a designer. So let's jump in. Every discussion about design should probably start with the basics, and it doesn't get any more basic than the elements of design. That's what we're going to look at in this video. There are 7 elements of design that we'll look at, and each of these play a role on your landing page, whether you notice it or not. They are line, color, size, space, shape, type, and texture. Let's break down each one. Lines are the most basic element of design. Lines can be curved, straight, thick, thin, 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional, whatever really. A line is simply an element of design that is defined by a point moving in space. In this example from Ask Nicely, they use a sharp slanted line in the hero section to draw the visitor down the page and help show that there is more below the fold. This is a great technique for keeping people engaged and scrolling on your landing page. A shape is a 2-dimensional defined area created by lines. Different types of shapes include geometric, abstract, and organic shapes, all of which are basic elements of design. In this example, there are various shapes that blend into the video in the foreground. It helps add depth to the page, and it just looks really unique. Shapes are great for breaking up an otherwise boring or plain page section. Color is one element that is especially important in attracting attention because there is psychology behind the feelings that color can evoke. There are 3 main characteristics of color: hue, the color family; value, how light or dark a color is; and saturation, the purity of the color. There is so much to be said about color, but for our purposes, here's what matters. First, there's no universal colors that convert better than others. No matter what a marketer will tell you, there's no single color that's always going to be the right color to use for a call to action button, for instance. The truth is, color is very subjective. You might respond differently to yellow or red than I do, and that's fine. What does matter is making sure your use of color is done in a way that doesn't confuse people, and that it also highlights the most important parts of the page. A while back, we talked about calls to action, and how you should use a contrasting color for your CTA buttons. That's a perfect example. So don't worry too much about the specific color for your CTAs, but rather focus on making sure that your CTAs stand out from the rest of the page by using a contrasting color. Lastly, regarding color, try not to overuse it. Pages should try to limit their main color palette to just 3 to 5 primary colors, as this page does. Their main colors are yellow and dark gray with a bit of white and orange thrown in. And while their yellow is certainly striking, it's not overwhelming. If you want to learn more about color psychology and using color on landing pages, it's something we're going to be covering in detail at Landing Page School if we haven't done so already. I'll link to some additional resources below. Texture in design refers to how things look like they'd feel if they were to be touched. For example, texture can be rough, smooth, glossy, soft, hard, etc. Texture is another element used to draw attention. It can be added to other elements like shapes, colors, images, and even type. This example of a cafe landing page shows a wooden background that looks like a table. It's like you can reach out and touch it, and for this brand, it works really well. If you do add texture to your pages, use it sparingly, because in general, texture has been used less in recent years as the web moves to a flatter, brighter, simpler design style. But it can still work well for some brands, especially if you're trying to convey an old school, rustic, or classic look. Typography is the art of arranging type. This one is critically important as it can greatly affect the design's messaging. Different fonts combined with various sizing, colors, and spacing can add power to the concept the designer is trying to communicate. An interesting point here is the distinction between a typeface and a font. I get this mixed up all the time, but a typeface is a particular design of type, while a font is a type in a particular size and weight. In short, a typeface usually gathers many fonts, and typography is the art and technique of arranging type. Typography is critical to your landing page designs for a number of reasons. Most importantly, it helps you convey your messaging. You need to ensure that the text on the page is legible and easy to read. Also, you can use certain typographic elements such as bold, underlines, italics, highlights, and sizing to call attention to certain words or phrases. Sometimes typography can be all you need, as seen in this example from Dharma. Their page reads, "Experience magical internet money," in a big, bold, and colorful font, and it conveys the big idea quickly without any other graphics. Size is simply how small or large something is. In design, size is used as an indication of importance, and it can also create visual interest in a design by using contrasting sizes. Size can help you showcase the quality of your product you might be selling, as Ambassador Watches does here with their supersized image of this watch face. Size is also a great way to draw people into certain elements and highlight what's most important. And finally, space refers to the areas of the design that are left blank. These areas include any distance or areas between, around, below, or above other design elements. Designers intentionally place spaces into their design to add emphasis to areas of the design. This example from the Cool Club uses a lot of space in the hero section, which makes you focus on the headline and the deck of cards and the call to action button. If you want to call attention to something, one way to do it is to isolate it or put more space around it. This works exceptionally well with call to action buttons. Well, there you have it. Do you feel like a designer yet? In the next video, we'll look at some design tools that you can use to design landing pages, so stay tuned.